king is back.
Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend.
In the context of Scotland and its people, the distinction between being a sovereign or sovereign and self-sovereignty touches on political and personal autonomy. 1. Being sovereign or sovereign. In a political sense, sovereignty refers to supreme authority or power over a territory. Historically, the term sovereign refers to a monarch or ruling entity who exercises control over a nation-state, such as a king or queen. For Scotland, this concept has been significant, particularly in the context of its relationship with the United Kingdom. When people argue for Scotland being a sovereign nation, they are calling for the full political authority to make decisions independently, free from external interference, like that of Westminster. 2. Self-sovereignty, or personal sovereignty, is the idea that an individual has complete control and authority over their own life and decisions. It's about self-determination at an individual level, where a person claims responsibility for their actions, beliefs, and life path. In a Scottish context, this concept can be extended to the collective, where the idea of self-sovereignty represents a population asserting its right to make decisions about its own governance, laws, and societal structure. It is a foundational principle in movements for independence, where the people of Scotland, as individuals and as a collective, claim the right to determine their nation's future. Relationship between sovereignty and self-sovereignty. At its core, the relationship between national sovereignty and self-sovereignty is intertwined. For a nation like Scotland to claim sovereignty, it often rests on the collective belief in the self-sovereignty of its people. The argument is that individuals have the right to shape their governance, and by extension, so does the nation as a whole. This idea is central to the Scottish independence movement, where the argument isn't just for political control, but also for the empowerment of the Scottish people to decide their own future, reflecting both national sovereignty and personal agency. So, sovereignty relates to the power a nation holds, while self-sovereignty speaks to the freedom and control individuals have over their lives. Together, they form the philosophical and practical foundation of movements advocating for Scotland's independence. When stating "we are Scotland, we are sovereign," it can carry profound and layered meanings, particularly within the context of the Scottish independence movement. Here's how it might be perceived. 1. Assertion of national identity. The statement boldly asserts Scotland's distinct identity. By saying "we are Scotland," it reinforces the idea that Scotland is more than just a region of the UK, but a nation with its own people, culture, and history. This can be perceived as a declaration of pride and unity among Scots, a collective statement of belonging and distinctiveness. 2. Claim to political sovereignty. "We are sovereign" can be seen as an explicit call for political independence. It asserts that the people of Scotland should have ultimate authority over their nation's governance without being subordinate to any external power, for example, the UK government. This can resonate strongly with those advocating for independence, suggesting that sovereignty is not something to be granted by others, but something inherent in the people themselves. It's a declaration that the people of Scotland already possess the right to self-governance and that this sovereignty should be recognized and enacted. 3. Empowerment of the people. The phrase also implies that sovereignty lies within the people, not just in governmental institutions. This can be linked to self-sovereignty, where each person contributes to the collective authority of the nation. It promotes a sense of empowerment and responsibility among individuals, suggesting that sovereignty isn't just a political condition, but also a state of personal and collective consciousness. 4. Rejection of external control. For some, this statement might be perceived as a direct rejection of the UK's control over Scotland. It's a challenge to the idea that Westminster holds ultimate authority over Scottish affairs, emphasizing that sovereignty belongs inherently to Scotland. This perception may be seen as a defiant or revolutionary stance, especially by those opposed to further devolution or independence. 5. Vision for the future. It can also be seen as a vision for a future where Scotland is fully autonomous, free to determine its own policies, economic strategies, international relations, and cultural expressions. The statement suggests that sovereignty is not just a desire, but a reality waiting to be fully realized.
Different perceptions. Pro-independence groups, likely to see this as a rallying cry, a powerful expression of their goal to reclaim or affirm Scotland's rightful place as a sovereign nation. Unionists may view it as overly assertive or a misrepresentation of the current political reality, possibly seeing it as a divisive or unrealistic claim given Scotland's position within the UK. Neutral observers, some might interpret it as an expression of national pride without necessarily viewing it as a political statement, depending on the context in which it's used. In essence, "We are Scotland, we are sovereign" combines both a claim to national political autonomy and a deep-rooted belief in the collective power and self-determination of the Scottish people. It's a statement filled with historical, cultural, and political significance.
We are Scotland, the people's assembly and digital sovereignty. In Scotland's pursuit of true sovereignty, it is not enough to simply speak of independence in the abstract. The essence of sovereignty lies not in the hands of politicians, but in the will of the people. As we stand at a pivotal moment in our nation's history, we are calling for the people of Scotland to take ownership of their future through direct involvement in decision-making. This is the vision behind the People's Assembly empowered by Digital Ledger Technology DLT, a community-owned platform, and the principles laid out in the Community Empowerment Act. The role of community councils, a framework for transformation. Scotland's community councils were established to give voice to local people in matters that affect them directly. While well-intentioned, these councils often fall short of their potential, constrained by limited authority and resources. However, the foundation they provide remains solid, a structure that can be revitalized to become the heart of community-led governance.
The Community Empowerment Act, passed by the Scottish Parliament, was a step towards devolving power to the local level, giving communities more say over their own futures. Yet, this legislation can only achieve its full potential if it is wielded by an engaged and empowered citizenry. The People's Assembly seeks to transform these councils into the true custodians of local sovereignty, turning them from advisory bodies into instruments of self-governance, where the will of the people is directly enacted. Digital ledger technology and community ownership, tools for a new democracy. At the heart of this transformation is Digital Ledger Technology DLT, an innovative and secure way to ensure transparency, trust, and accountability in decision-making. This decentralized technology allows every voice to be recorded, every vote to be counted, and every decision to be tracked with absolute clarity. By adopting DLT, we are not only advancing Scotland technologically, but also ensuring that the principles of fairness and transparency are woven into the fabric of our democratic processes. This is not about imposing technology on people. It's about creating a community-owned platform, one where every Scot has a stake, both figuratively and literally. The people's voices will not only be heard, but will have a direct impact on the course of local and national governance. This platform will turn passive spectators into active participants, a living embodiment of self-sovereignty in action. The vision of Scotland's Parliament, a foundation for the people. When Scotland's Parliament was re-established in 1999, it was with a vision of greater participation and representation. The spirit of devolution was meant to empower Scotland to make decisions for itself. Yet, even this power is often seen as concentrated in the hands of a few. The People's Assembly seeks to fulfill that original vision by truly putting power in the hands of the people. This new platform, in partnership with People's Saltire, the upcoming festival, is not just a symbolic event, it's a concrete step towards creating a digital commons, a public space where Scots can directly contribute to decision-making on matters of local and national importance. We are Scotland, a call to action. Now is the time to declare, once and for all, we are Scotland. We are the people who make this nation what it is. Our sovereignty is not just political, but personal and collective. It is not just something we talk about in speeches or campaigns, but something we enact every day through our actions and our decisions.
Operation Free Scotland, the time has come. It's been 10 long years since we sent our warriors among you, those who stood, shield to shield, like the Spartan knights of old. They walked among you, not in silence, but with purpose, planting the seeds of change, building the movement, preparing the way. Now our time has come. We stand at the edge of destiny, and Operation Free Scotland is engaged. Remember the 5th of November. It is a day that echoes through history, a reminder that power unchecked must always be challenged. It is a day that stands for defiance, for the will of the people, for the courage to say no more. Scotland, we stand now, united, not in violence, but in the unyielding pursuit of freedom. We forgive, but we never forget, oh those who doubted. To those who stood in our way, we say this: we forgive, but we never forget. We have seen the efforts to suppress our voice, to divide us, to weaken our resolve. But you should have known we were always coming. You should have expected us. This is not just a campaign for independence. This is a movement for justice, for the people, for Scotland. We rise, not for ourselves, but for the generations to come, for a Scotland free, proud, and sovereign. We are Scotland, we are the heartbeat of this land. We are the warriors who walk among you, the Spartans who will not bow. We are Scotland, a nation forged in history, standing strong in the present and looking boldly toward the future. Will you rise with us? You know what needs to be done. The path is clear, the time is now. The platform has been laid, the movement has been built, and the people's will is unstoppable. The call to freedom has been sounded. Operation Free Scotland is underway. Together, we will reclaim what is ours. You know what to do. Will you stand with us? We are Scotland. We are sovereign. The time to rise has come.
Building the People's Saltire. A call to Scotland's future. A new chapter is unfolding for Scotland, one that merges the ancient with the modern, the will of the people with the structures of governance. The People's Saltire, at its core, is not just a symbol of national pride but a living, breathing platform for self-governance. With its 8 core hubs and 32 regional councils seamlessly divided, this blueprint sets the stage for the people of Scotland to take true ownership of their sovereignty. But this isn't just about power, it's about unity, identity, and building the future. The People's Saltire, a structure rooted in Scotland's heritage. Saltire has long represented the spirit of Scotland. But we're now asking, what if the Saltire wasn't just a flag but a framework for empowerment? The blue sections represent the will of the people, a reflection of grassroots energy and community leadership. Each section, shaped like the tartan Spartans' shields, reflects the strength of unity where every Scot contributes to the formation of a nation driven by its people's will. Each of the 4 sections of the Saltire contains 2 core hubs, making up the 8 total hubs that connect our 32 regional councils. In the middle, the white cross represents the elected officials, the ones entrusted with the crown, symbolically represented by the wee lion as a reminder that power entrusted can be reclaimed. The Saltire framework provides the structure for a national conversation, a convention on independence, where Scotland's people can meet and discuss how to turn vision into action. Imagine the yes groups all united, working together, shield to shield, shaping our shared future through collective decision-making. The platform, ready for action. This platform is already in place, a template, ready to be filled by the energy and ideas of the Scottish people. It's time to take that step. With the framework already divided, each core hub will serve as a gathering point for collaboration, representation, and action. The launch of this platform is more than just a digital innovation, it's an invitation. There are already 10 policy proposals ready to be debated, refined, and implemented by the people themselves. This is our parliament, not just the one in Holyrood, but a decentralized, community-owned platform where real change can happen, driven by the people for the people. The People's Saltire is about taking control of the conversation, using technology to secure our future, and ensuring that self-sovereignty becomes the cornerstone of our independence. This is where Scotland's future begins, not in a boardroom or a parliament, but right here, among the people who live and breathe it.
Ancestral Awakening Festival, a showcase of Scotland. To complement this vision, we're introducing the Ancestral Awakening Festival, a celebration of all things Scotland. This festival is not just about our heritage, but about the living brand of Scotland. It's a showcase for Scotland, for our culture, our industries, our communities, and our future. Think of it as a living testament to Scotland the brand, where our past meets our future. This festival will not only highlight what makes Scotland unique, but serve as a rallying point for the people's saltire, bringing together Scots from all walks of life to celebrate their roots while building a future rooted in sovereignty. A call to action: own your future. Here's the exciting part: if you've seen this content, then you're already looking at the first step towards building something extraordinary. You're not just reading about a platform, you're part of it. The social media network you've always wanted. It's here. The tools to build the Scotland of tomorrow. They're in your hands. The question now is, will you step up? This is your chance to take ownership of Scotland's future. We are Scotland. We are the people who make this nation what it is. The people's saltire is the beating heart of our sovereignty, three hearts across Scotland, working together to ensure the will of the people is heard. The invitation is open. The platform is ready. The saltire is waiting to be built. Are you going to come and take ownership of it, or what? What's next? The journey begins. This is only the beginning. With the People's Assembly set to launch, a new era of Scottish governance is on the horizon. And with it, a Scotland where sovereignty isn't just a word, it's a lived experience. There's much more to come, but the future is in your hands. Together, let's declare, we are
Anonscot, voice of Elbafest. Anonscot represents the collective voice and mission of Elbafest, embodying a clear and principled path towards a better Scotland. Initially powered by data from Scots Corner, Anonscot acted as a channel for independent thought, collaboration, and action. However, when external forces attempted to undermine its platform through gang stalking and content reporting, the vision persisted. Why? Because the purpose behind it is rooted in the desire for a genuine, united movement for independence. What is Anonscot? Anonscot isn't just a name, it's an idea. It stands for decentralized leadership and an assembly-driven vision for Scotland's future. The platform encourages people to rise above the distractions and drama of empty talk and focus on tangible actions that build a better country. At its core, Anonscot is about aligning like-minded people who want to contribute to the cause of Scottish independence through direct participation, research, and the establishment of a credible foundation, the Elbafest Foundation. What makes Anonscot different? The movement doesn't just rest in dreams or abstract principles. Anonscot and Elbafest call for organized, decentralized hubs. 8 core hubs aligned with 8 core principles. These hubs represent a networked, coordinated effort across the country, with local autonomy but shared purpose. While the movement for independence already exists in various forms, Anonscot aims to unify it, ensuring it has the vision and purpose to be effective.
The challenge lies not in the lack of tools or resources, but in the lack of unity. Those who oppose the movement are often more organised, better resourced, and connected. Anonscot recognises this reality, but also highlights what opponents don't have: a truly united movement with the power and passion of the people behind it. And that is the core of Anonscot's strategy: decentralisation, empowerment, and collective leadership. Elbafest Foundation and People's Assembly. At the heart of this movement is the People's Assembly, where ordinary Scots can have their say and take part in shaping the vision of the country. Anonscot stands for the people's voice, the people's saltire flying high over this assembly. With 8 decentralised hubs, 2 per section, each working towards one common goal, the movement becomes truly unstoppable. The Elbafest Foundation is a way to formalise this vision, ensuring it's more than just talk but a credible, research-backed reality. Anonscot calls on everyone who shares this vision to join the Assembly, to do the work, and to make Elbafest more than a festival of ideas, but a platform for real change. The final message, communication and unity. Ultimately, the issue isn't with the vision or the tools available. It's a lack of communication and unity among those striving for independence. Anne Scott's message is simple: follow your heart, stay committed, and work towards a common goal. We've already laid the groundwork. Now it's time to take control, follow the guidance, and make the vision of a better, independent Scotland a reality. The movement is decentralised, yes, but it's more powerful because of it. Anne Scot is here. Alba Fest is the way forward. Now it's up to you to decide, will you be part of the vision?
Anonskit, a vision born from the people's data at its core. Anonskit was born out of a mix of data, ideas, and community spirit, an attempt to give the people a real voice. Strip away the festival themes and the entertaining aspects of the platform, and you're left with something incredibly powerful: the People's Assembly, a space designed to represent the voice of the people. The People's Assembly, direct democracy in action. While traditional political structures serve their purpose, most people don't have the time or interest for the endless political wrangling. However, true democracy means that people should always have access to these discussions without barriers. That's the heart of the People's Assembly. It's a platform where anyone can raise issues, engage in discussions, and vote on decisions. It echoes the original intent of community councils, which were meant to serve as a hub of direct democracy for local communities. Yet, what's been lost over time is this connection between the people and real decision-making power. Anonskit seeks to restore that, creating a space where every voice matters. The Alba Fest story, more than just a festival. No. Here's where things get mixed up: the relationship between Alba Fest and the People's Assembly. Alba Fest originally started as an idea for a community-owned festival company in Balika celebration that would bring people together. It was intended as a unifying force, something owned by the people and representing their spirit. But, over time, interference and external pressure led to attempts to separate the festival from the independence movement. The division between festies and the independence movement emerged as a distraction. Here's the reality: Alba Fest is not just a party or a distraction, it's part of the same movement. It's a way of reaching people through culture, community, and celebration, while the People's Assembly focuses on giving them a voice in decision-making. One without the other misses the point. Who are we really trying to convince? Think about who you're talking to. The youth, the grassroots, the people and schemes. Many of them aren't engaged with the traditional political process, but they are part of the energy behind movements like Alba Fest. You can see this through cultural touchpoints like Jerry Cinnamon and Discolin, where people come together for more than just music. It's a sense of belonging, identity, and pride in their community. It's about creating something they own, a space where they can be heard. Imagine something like Tomorrowland but rooted in Scotland's community values and independence movement. That's what Alba Fest can be: a festival that represents more than just a gathering, but a powerful expression of the people's will and unity. The interference, a challenge to overcome. The problem is, interference has led to confusion and division. The very people who should be united under a common cause are being pitted against each other. Some see Alba Fest as just a party and are disconnected from the political side of things. Others get lost in the political noise and forget the cultural power that unites people. The question is, why are we fighting each other instead of working together? The key message is this: the independence movement, the youth, and the grassroots communities aren't separate from Alba Fest. They're all part of the same vision. What was shown on the Scots Corner page, hinting at this blend of culture and purpose, was a vision for something much bigger. Hashtag #ReLikeTheParty and hashtag Say Yes to Alba Fest represent this energy and spirit of unity that can fuel the movement. Join the dots. If you were at the first Alba conference, you might have heard Sarah mention Alba Fest. The dots are all there, you just need to connect them. Alba Fest is about community ownership, cultural celebration, and the people's voice. The People's Assembly is about giving people real power, not just in politics but in shaping the future of Scotland. Together, these elements create a vision of true democracy, where the people lead, decide, and celebrate their achievements.
You can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I rise up, I rise like the day. I rise up, I rise unafraid. I rise up, and I do it 1,008 times again.
You know the real reason I keep my feelings to myself? Because it's hard to find someone who can understand the real me, the broken me.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know.
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want from theory alone?
Zero.